Good morning, good morning, good morning. Massive warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio and it's absolutely lovely to have your company. You have all been very, very busy bees with the Santa's Grotto accessory pack and it has sold out. There you go. We're still here. We're still going to demo, but there is an extended date for you all to get hold of this. You can find it on 230708 on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Later on today, at some point, Carnation will be putting the vignettes on there, so you can go and download your artwork. But that certainly won't happen until after the show, as far as I know. Good morning to you all. Hey, Pam Simpson. Hey, Yvonne. Hey, Diane. Over on the YouTubes, good morning, Carol Healy. Good morning, Lisa Glover. Good morning, Mandy Motley. Lots of you have already bought it. And the great thing is lots of you will be receiving it tomorrow, which is always lovely as well, because we know that Carnation pick, pack and post straight away. So you'll all be getting it. What is it? It's an extension pack. So every now and again, Carnation will bring us an extension pack, which changes an original collection that they've done. So this changes Getting Together. So that gorgeous clubhouse that we've got for the Getting Together collection, we now have it as Santa's Grotto, which I think is such a lovely idea, not least because it makes fabulous Christmas cards, but also isn't it nice to be able to do more with the collections that we've previously had? I think that's a really lovely thing. Just takes everything that little bit further. There's so many of you here. Good morning to you all. Lots of people saying good morning, Miss Tiz Taz.
Morning.
She says good morning. So yeah, it gives us just a little bit more scope with our crafting. I'm going to show you the board and we're going to do a couple of demos for you with it, and I'm going to show you some finished samples so you can get an idea of what you can be doing with it. Don't forget, before we go any further with it, sorry, this is just reloading. Before we go any further with it, don't forget to get hold of your tiny lights, because you will be able to use them in the most gorgeous way with this collection. I'm probably not going to do so much with the tiny lights this morning, purely because the lighting in here, but just to let you know, when you get your tiny lights, they look like this. You're getting, you get 2 8 lights, string of 8 lights, and you get 2 with 16. So if you are making big box frames, the 16 lights are brilliant for that. If you're making the very small cards, the 8 strips are like that. They come with their batteries. They're all good to go. So don't forget to get those into your basket while you can, because they will go with this collection in the most awesome way. The extended delivery is going to be dispatched from the 7th of August, so it's not far away at all. And they'll, as soon as Carnation get it, they will dispatch it all out to you. It's a show price today of $24.99. They are going to obviously respect that for the extended dispatch for today. And that will go back up at midnight to the original show price, which I think is $34.99, or the original price, should I say. So if you want it on extended dispatch, so it's going to come to you in a couple of weeks, then you'll still get it at $24.99 today. If you go on tomorrow, it will have gone up by £10, so today is the day to do it. So many of you here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'll say hello to a few of you, and then we're going to go straight to boards. So just to say hello, I don't know where we got before, to be honest. You're all here. Maggie, Rachel, Tracy, Pauline, Anne, Marion, Yvette, Karen Vincent, Suzanne Page, Debbie is here as well. Then we've got Karen Richardson, Jean, and we've got Lisa as well. Good morning, wet Dublin. Know the feeling. It's not so cracking here either. And then over on the YouTubes, we've got Charlotte, Shirley, Sheila, and Linda as well. Lots of you here this morning. Right, so let's have a look. Hello, Janine Dawson, you beautiful human. Janine is our head DT, so please do say hello to her. Good morning, B. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Jan. Right, let's have a look at the boards so you can see what you're getting. Beautiful, beautiful expansion pack, but actually this isn't all that you get either. So the artwork coming through, so we've got snow lines. These are the sort of extras that you're getting away from Getting Together, but they work with Getting Together. So things like the little snowy roof that we've got here sits beautifully on top of that clubhouse. You've got your log piles. You've got a chimney to put on top of your clubhouse as well, so it becomes very snowy and lovely. And then you've got your little log set here. Now this, it's because you can see where it's cut in half and in half here. It means that it's never ending. You can keep adding pieces to it. Really nice to have. Little bells. You've got pieces like this which will cover the clock on the clubhouse if you want it to do that. Snowy corners which can be put on rooftops. Extra pieces of snow. You've got your gorgeous holly. This here which can be used in two ways. You can use it round the door of Santa's grotto and it's perfect, or you can use it as a fireplace if you turn it the other way around. Really, really sweet. You've got your wreath, you've got your little door, your little window panels there as well. Lots and lots of decorations for it, little rockets, and you've even got a letterbox for Father Christmas's letters to go into. So super cute. Big snowman too. Lots and lots for you to play with, but it doesn't just end there. As always with Carnation, they think of everything for us. So there has been a recolouring of the vignettes for the clubhouse for us as well. So as we look at this here, you've got that gorgeous clubhouse with snow on the roof, and then we can start adding to it, even down to the little flower baskets. The hanging baskets now have that gorgeous snow sitting upon it. So we've got all of the vignettes here. You can see them all coming through. Really beautiful things. So this is all colourway. It's all the stuff you will have from Getting Together already. I've got lots printed out here. Just bear with. All of the different pieces. Snow on the table here. You've got little lamps to put on. There's so much going on with all of the stuff. Let me just keep going so you can see all of it. That's your Santa's Grotto. Somewhere in here. Hold on. Just bear with me. What did I do with it? Have I got it printed or did I use them all? You've also got the inside of the clubhouse as well, which has got like a glowing fireplace. It's really cute, but I think I might have used them in demo, so you will see it there, so we won't worry about it too much. So much in this set. There's no wonder it's sold out. There's no wonder, because you get so much. It's such good value for money, and it absolutely transforms a previous collection. So essentially, where Carnation have a tendency to bring out 2 launches in June for Christmas, as in All Craft at Christmas is in June, they've actually kind of given us a sneaky little third one that changes a previous pack. Gorgeous to have. We're going to look at some finished samples, and then we're going to go into demo so you can see how it's working and how it's coming together. So I'm just going to bring these over without falling off my chair. No guarantees. So we're going to have a look at this. Look at the cuteness. That your shabby, is it shabby or crystal? That's your crystalline. Your crystalline nested. Look how beautifully it makes those snow lines around here. Get your crystalline nesteds out. This collection just works with it perfectly, doesn't it, for Christmas? Really, really brilliant. So we've got that one, but then we start to get into Santa's Grotto. So you've got this here. Look at the cuteness. Isn't that just so lovely? Really cute. Build up all of your little elements so they're all got that dimension on them. They just look absolutely stunning. We can go from that one then through. Little bit of fancy glitz on this one. Absolutely beautiful. I believe this is an, oh no. Oh, look at the fancy pants. Okay. So we can start to really, really take these into different levels, can't we? It becomes something else. Really, really gorgeous. So we've got that one. Then let's have a look at this one. Remember, pip marks, they allow us to cut into, and we can use them in different ways. That's the inside of the clubhouse that I was talking to you about. You've got the little door, and then it opens. Lots of different ways. Remember your other Christmas collections as well, so you can bring in different elements from those. We've got here a really gorgeous easel, which you can't really see when it's upright, but if I do it that way, and then you can see that, Miss Taz is telling me to turn it round. There you go, Miss Taz. Look at that. And you've got the little door, obviously, that opens up there too. Isn't that cute? Really sweet. The easel cards are ace, aren't they, for this? Really, really good for it. So then going back to something that's more stripped back. See how we can... So when we're looking at something that I would say is much more, shall we say, detailed, and then going into something, they work so well, don't they? Carnation can go across any taste line. It doesn't matter how we craft, it will take us through all of them. And actually, it's just a real pleasure to work with. Look at these. They're so cute. Really sweet, aren't they? The dimension you can get with it, really, really beautiful to have. Again, something that is more pared back. Same shape, more pared back. We've got snowballs. And then, this is Miss Taz's favourite of the morning. Look at the glitz and glitter on that. Look at that. Absolutely stunning, right? Now, while I'm here and we're talking about little jewels that sit on things, I will just say Carnation have got pearl wheels in at the moment. I don't know where they are on the website, but if you put in pearl wheels, but they are on super limited stock as far as I'm aware. So you've got the 1.5mm and the 3mm little jewels to add extra little pieces to all of your cards. So you've got everything that you need to go through. So you can see it here, beautiful pearl wheels, and they are on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Pauline Thorne is saying you have frozen. No, I'm not frozen on mine. Hopefully, Pauline, you'll get it back in a second. It could just be a glitch. Jambird, where is that Christmas tree from? Now you're pushing my brain. One of the Christmas collections, but I can't remember which one. Offhand, I can't remember. I don't know if it's Christmas time. If you have a look on Carnation's website and just type in Christmas in the search box or Christmas tree, it'll bring up all of the aspects that they've got with that in it, and you'll be able to see them all and you'll be able to decipher from it. And if you just look at that on the screen, on the overhead there, so you can get a little screenshot of it and you can remember which one it is when you go to do everything that you need. Karen Richardson says we're back. So it may have just had a little moment. This can often happen. Lisa is saying the value of this is amazing. I was going to get it anyway, but surprised when the price saw it, especially when you think that means you're getting you extend the use of the original set. I mean, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because it's not. I mean, they're basically giving you a whole new purpose for getting together, and I just think that that's really, really lovely. It's a really nice thing to have. Just bear with you. Lots of you asking questions. There's so many of you here. You're not a pest at all, Jan. Don't apologise. Morning from Virginia. Oh, there you go. Janine is helping me here. Janine, Jan, the tree is made up from the Grotto leaves. She's made it herself. Look at Janine. Look at Janine being a genius. There you go. It's all the Grotto leaves. Janine, you're such a star. Look at that. It's all the little leaves from the Grotto. Cute. She's so clever, is Janine. Honestly, she is beyond clever. It's ridiculous. We do love her very, very much. Yeah, Linda, the vignettes are no longer available. They will be later on today. It's just letting the website cool while people are ordering. And so you will all be able to get it. So you just need to go to the Carnation Crafts website and you'll be able to sort there. Yeah, for Ready for Christmas, people are asking for that we did on Hobby Maker. That's going to be on Monday morning at 10 o'clock here. So you get to see all of the collections doing all of the things. There's so many things to think about. Right, shall we demo? Shall we have a little demo? Let's do this one first. Now, I've done two, not the same, but two similar cards very purposefully to do one as a normal card and one as an easel. So you're getting to see it both ways. Hopefully we'll then get time for a third demo, which has got nothing to do with the card shape and is just in and of itself the accessories pack. Oh, pretty much. Let's do this. So the Clubhouse card shape cut twice. Now remember, you can do what we normally do, which is where you would score at 1/2 inch and do all of that. But remember, we do have those lovely hinges that Nick gave us that we can use to put the card together at the top. And that's what we're going to do now. Just get this. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Hold on, let me... There's so many of you here this morning. It's It's a bit of a blinder this morning, Miss Tiz Taz.
There is a lot of people.
Right. Let's do this thing. Let's start and get our craft on, because it's what we're all here for, right? We're all here to see it coming together. Massive, massive thank you to Carnation as well for just being on it. They're so good. Huge thank you to you guys. Massive help to me. So we've got the little hinge. I'm just folding it in the middle there. And I'm going to put this down first. And the reason I'm putting it down first is because I want my mat, or my layer, to sit on top of it. So I'm just going to take the hinge, and I'm just going to get that as near as I can to the top corner without it going over, and let that stick. And then I will do the top bit in a second, but I'm actually just going to work on the inside. So this is your recoloured, isn't that lovely? Little fireplace look. Isn't it so sweet? So I'm going to do this as a recoloured piece here, and I'm going to put it on top of that hinge, okay? So slightly hiding those workings, but it is so cute. It's so lovely, and I'm so pleased that they've done this. Tiny bits of wet glue. Remember, if you're putting down something large like this, what you don't want to do is smear it in glue. If you smear it in glue, it's going to get wavy, okay? So we're just going to use tiny little drops so that I don't affect the moisture content in the paper. Hey Helen Myers, how you doing, lovely? So I'm going to just place that in. I love that so much. I think already that is so effective and so cute. Now, different ways of playing with the inside of this piece. So some of the things we were looking at earlier, where we've got that door frame that sits on the door of the clubhouse. Okay, so it can sit like this really beautifully. Or I'm going to turn it and I'm going to use it as my fireplace. And I'm going to just do that and put it there. Okay, so that's just going to become a little bit of my fireplace. So I've got that blurred vignette at the back, which gives me an idea of my grounding. And I'm going to place that there. Now I've got my chair just here, and I'm going to place that just in front. Because I've got my grounding device with that line here, I can place this further forward, and it looks like it's further in front of the fire. And this is where your blurred vignettes from Carnation are so important, because it can sit forward, if you see what I mean, because it allows that perspective. There's a few of you who have got a frozen screen. There's nothing this end. Everything's working fine, and we are not attached to anything to do with Carnation and Carnation's website here in the studio here, so it's nothing to do with the website crashing anything. My internet's good. Everything is absolutely fine, and I think lots of you don't have a frozen screen, so just keep refreshing the page and hopefully you'll get us back. So using the chair from the Getting Together collection, so remember we can bring in those aspects from the original collection. I'm going to place this here inside Santa's grotto. I'm going to give him a little table just sitting in front. Pam says hers is fine. It might be Facebook. That's true. If you want to switch to YouTube or to Facebook, depending which one you're on, that might help. Suzanne says hers is fine. Pauline, if you switch to YouTube, it might help. Actually, if you're frozen screen.
Their internet at home. That's the only thing I can think of.
I've got the two little rockets here. I'm going to put those onto the table as if they are little gifts that Santa is going to be giving out to the next children that come through. Now, options here. With that fireplace, if I want to make that a little bit higher, I can give it a little bit of extra oomph on the fireplace, which I love. I think it's so cute, isn't it? And doesn't it add in to the focus of it, because we're elongating up. And so we're not left with this big sort of blank white space. Now, even though we've got those lights, it just cools the tones that little bit, which I love. Lisa Glover saying not freezing on YouTube. Julie, is the website down? No, the website's not down. It's just very, it's just sort of chugging through because there's so many of you on it. Just keep trying. If you've already paid and a payment has gone through, please don't order again. You can contact Carnation through customer services at carnationcrafts.co.uk and just have a chat with them. They will make sure everything is going fine, but please don't order more than once. Sue is saying hers is fine. Carla and Taz, maybe it's the weather. It could be so many things, can't it? The internet is a never-ending place of weirdness. Right, let's go in with some decorations for this little fireplace, which we can just tuck to the center here. I'm going to put them on the outside just so they sit and they sort of frame up that and give it a little bit of a Christmas feel. Marion says they're snowshoes, not rockets. They'll do either way. We can play, play, play. And we're going to put this on here and put this around at this side, just like so. And we're going to put those little bells in the center just to center that out so it can come round. And we get that full rounded edge, so it's super, super cute. And we're going to put these here, just sitting in the middle. Now you'll notice I'm not using pin flare on any of this, and the reason that I'm not using pin flare on any of this is because it's the inside of the card and I don't want it to affect the outer piece of the card. If you do want to use pin flare on the inside, and of course that's absolutely fabulous, but my advice to you if you're going to do that is work separately on the front and on the middle and then attach it at the very, very end. I'm obviously working more quickly, so we're just going to fold this in, and I'm going to put some glue on the other side of my hinge now, just a little smidge here, and then I'm going to line this up at the bottom just very cautiously so that I've got it relatively straight. Push that down, and that's my inside taken care of. So we have got all of that set. Lots of people saying about the website. It does. It's because there's hundreds and hundreds of people on it. It just give it time to breathe, basically. Carnation have taken the artwork off for now so that you've all got a better chance of getting on, and it will be fine. And the extended, as I don't know what the limit is on the extended, but as far as I know, everything is fine at the moment. So please do just keep trying, keep refreshing. It will go through.
It's going to be there for the whole day.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be there for the whole day, Taz says. Right, I'm going to place the front of my clubhouse down. I love that so much. I love the reworking of these. They're so good. I just think they're really, really wonderful. Ellen says it's slow because there's so many. Yeah, Ellen, you're absolutely right. If it says that you've ordered twice, Fraser, please do just contact Carnation Crafts at customer services at carnationcrafts.co.uk. Just drop them an email. It will all be sorted. They're not going to take your money off you twice. They will sort it all out. Now, I've got the little chimney here, which I can put in and just attach. And if you do it by putting on less glue on here, you can just slot it in. So it just sits nice. Isn't that so sweet? Look how we change it all up so cleverly and so easily, literally giving new life to a collection that we already knew was fantastic. Put that in, straighten it up, all ready for Santa to come down. Cute, right? Really sweet. Now, I've got different elements that I can play with here. I've got my Santa's Grotto, and I've put that on a foam tape, and I've put it on a 3mm foam tape because I want it to raise slightly. So I'm going to bring this in first, and I'm going to put it over the clock. I'm going to cover the clock. Santa's Grotto, all sitting nice and smart. Now, this little piece sits perfectly right on here. And it's the same one I used for the fireplace, so it's bringing the whole thing through. So you get the same effect through the card, and it's just got that lovely sort of little hint there, and I love it so much. We're going to place this on. I'm not raising it. I'm happy for it to remain flat to the card. But your options here, what you can do is raise that up and open the door as well, and it just really protrudes. It looks wonderful. So we've got that there. And we're going to decorate up. I've got a little wreath for the door. The cuteness. And again, remember the magic fireplace. You could use a little magnet on this as well. Put that in. And then I've got some other elements here. So first of all, I've got a snowy roof. Putting that on the top there. How cute is that? Is that not so sweet? Really, really gorgeous. Suzanne Page, only 3 mil. I think if you keep watching, Suzanne, I think on some of the others I might have gone to a 5 mil. You know I love my foam tape. I can't control myself. Foam tape's my favourite thing in the world. I've just ordered a ton of it. I love it. It gets me really excited. Right, we've got the little sign here. So we just I love this sign, it's so pretty. Going to place that through. Toy Factory Stables. Isn't that so cute? Yvonne's saying Carnation are the best company for giving us new artwork to expand our dies. Thank you for thinking of us crafters. I think I was just talking to Taz about this before we came on air, and we were having a chat about how it's just a really lovely thing to expand, and it's not, you know, I've said to you so many times before that you don't ever just buy, you know, you don't buy loads of collections with the Carnation. You buy one collection, you keep adding to it. And it's so true, because it's a constant stream of thought from them on how they can make it better for you guys. And that's why they recolor vignettes. It's why they do all sorts of things. But stuff like this becomes a thing of genius, right? Where they're completely reworking a whole collection. I just think it's incredible. And it looks so different. This is not sportsmen playing darts inside. This is Santa. And you would think this was a Christmas collection made for Christmas, and it's not, and I love that. So I've got my line of snow at the bottom, and I've got certain things that I need to think about before I go in there, because I've got a little snowman that I want to put in. So when we're talking about everyone laughs at your extra large foam rolls. Listen, I've gone past the everyone laughing at me. I think it's just become a cliche with me now, but I love it and I don't apologize for it. Where I've got my snowman, do I want him to sit at the front of the card? Now, this is when we start talking about options, and I'm going to shape my snowman out, but 2 things to think about here. If I want him at the front of the card, perspective-wise on that snow, I need to shape him and I need to lift him. If I want him further back, I can tuck him behind the snow, but then I wouldn't shape him. I'd leave him flat because he's behind. So we're looking at where your perspective is. Where do you want him to be? Do you want him to be right at the front of the card? He's the person welcoming the recipient to look at the card. Or do you want him further back behind the snow, in which case, you know, you don't need to shape him out. So it's just about thinking about the little techniques in that way. But I am going to finish just decorating my little house here. So I've got these beautiful pieces, and I'm just going to tuck them in around the rooftops, just below that snow line, just to add a bit more colour. Just adding in. Christine saying, can't order, I think the website's crashed. It hasn't crashed, it's just on the go slow. Keep trying, you'll get there eventually. Come out and it'll sort. And then we've got there. And I'm just going to add in these 2 little hanging baskets, which are super, super cute. I love that with the little snowdrops on them, aren't they cute? And then we're going in here. And then we're just going to play with this. Now, we were saying about shaping out with the snowman. This one I do want at the back. I don't want it to be sitting too far forward. It's just going to sit where it is as a little piece, a little extra visual. So I'm going to sit him behind the snow, or it behind the snow, just poking through. Just there. ready for everyone to put their letters to Santa in. And then I'm going to put my snow down. I'm not particularly going to shape the snow because I want the snowman to be my front and centre. I want him to be the welcome to the card. So I'm going to place this down right on that line, my grounding device sitting very strong. Just place down. Okay, so we've got the full scene set and now we just need our character in there. So I'm going to take my trusty foam mat and a ball tool that is about the right size. Just let me find the most appropriate. We'll go in with this one. So again, as always, we're going to work with the shape that we've got. So we're going to start from the outside, but we have actually got 3 snowballs here, obviously, for his body and his head. So I'm going to work with those individually. So I'm going to work from the outside on this one, and I'm just going to scoop around the bottom of it. And then I'm going to work in a horseshoe shape just up to the top. Then I'm going to do the same on the next one. Outside first, break those fibres, then work in. Now I need to change my ball tool to the smaller one, but same again on his head, and I can work in around on that one, and then I'm just going to bring round his snow hat, little Santa hat, and work it that way. Now what I can also do is just pull and stretch down on his scarf as well. Then when I turn him round, I can move his head up, I can move his bottom up, and I will get 3 full sections that are all rounded out, and that's just going to give him this lovely little bump of dimension. And then I'm going to sit him at the front with some pin flare and just place this in. So I'm putting a little bit of pin flare on each section so it all sits raised. I'm going to use his little hands to help him down, and I'm sitting him right at the front on my grounding device. So he's going to sit on that line right at the front, raised up, all happy, and he's my showpiece at the front. Okay, sitting with all that dimension. So something really cute, really sweet, and just something a little bit different. And who would have thought that that was the getting together card shape? Because you just wouldn't place them together, would you? It's absolutely Santa's Grotto. Of course it is. Really sweet. Love it. So we're going to make something that is a little bit similar to that, but we're going to do it on an easel style. I will just let you know that the number for this is 230708. It's on extended dispatch. It will be dispatched from the 7th of August for you all. They're going to honour, obviously, the price of $24.99 for 12 hours, or for today, so to speak. So it'll go to $34.99 at midnight. So no rush on anything at all. $2.95 UK P&P because it's under the £50 price range. And that is on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. And right, here we go. So we're going to do a little bit of an easel and just work it differently. I'm hoping we can get 3 demos, so I'm kind of going fast and furious so that we can try and get 3 demos out for you. So whenever we're working with easels, 3 of your main card shape, this is the way I find it the easiest to do. So scoring through at a few, that's probably about 1.5 inches, and then scored down the center, red liner tape here, and if we poke that up, you'll have red liner tape on the back of that as well. So we've got it for where it is. So what we're going to do here is use our pokey. Just take that off, and we're going to attach that to one of the pieces. Just making sure that's lined up before I let go so that I can just commit to that stick. Just let me make sure I haven't, do you know, I'm hopeless at forgetting the insides. Here we go. So there we go, and commit it down there. And stick that there. Okay, that's going to give me everything I need for my mechanism for the easel card. So that will be my base plate. Now you'll notice I don't have a mat on there, and it's because I'm going to do some other stuff with it, but it is there, and I've got this here, and that's going to be for this card to sit onto so that my easel is as it should be. So the way that I try and put these on straight is very difficult with the overhead, but the way I do this is to remove my red liner tape, and then I'm going to work from the top point, make sure that they are pinned down. Just there and just there, and push that down, okay? So that means I've now got my mechanism completely in place. So it all works together. So from that point, I'm going to put on my front door of my clubhouse, or my front of my clubhouse, but I've also got these lovely pieces as well. So my side pieces. And they're going to become very important. Now I'm going to want to tuck them slightly underneath here. So when I place this vignette down, what I'm going to do is make sure I don't get my glue too far over to this edge, because I want to pin it. I'm not too worried about the top, but I'm going to put those nearer to the door. And because of that, I'm just going to place a little extra glue around these edges just to make sure that it's where I want it to be. Place that down in the center. And now I've got some movement at the sides where I can tuck things in, and that's going to help me out a lot, because on my easel, which is going to sit here, and I'm going to have a stopper obviously at the front, I'm then going to have my little clubhouse pieces sitting at the side, so I'm just going to tuck them in, and that's going to allow things to just sit forward on my easel. So that's why we leave it. So if I place that in and put another one on the other side, I can match up those pieces at the bottom and put them in that way. Okay, so we're just going to play with these. Now I don't know yet whether I want these edges on. I think I do, so I think we're going to keep it like it is. So first of all, I'm just going to glue this down, just with a few bits going across. I'm going to do the same on the other. So I'm going to use that little edge, so I'm pushing that down and I'm using that edge. That is going to be part of my easel, okay? So putting that in. Little bits of adhesive. Now, very carefully, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here. I just want to watch my window line when I'm putting this in. So just very small amounts. Remember, Carnation's everyday glue gives me a little bit of wiggle, but the minute I press it, it's stuck. So you've got to be relatively speedy. I just want to match up those pieces thither, and I want to make sure my window is not touching my base card, so you can't see the base card through my window. Make sure that sits up, which it does. There you go. I might actually be inclined to put that further down and put it there. So making sure the window is not covered, just like so, and we're in. Same again on the other side. So what we're doing is creating almost a triptych, which we would have done with the other as well. So making sure that sits there and then that sits there, so I create that box. So I've got that dimension coming forward, because it looks incredible, right? Same again here, this time obviously on the other side. This is a time where tiny lights would be amazing. Just piecing through. Let me just get my hand under here so I can gently tuck where I want it to be. So it makes things easier if you just monitor your glue line on your main vignette before you commit. And that should then allow it. I could now go back in under those folds and I could put in a little extra glue if I was worried. I'm not going to, because I'm not worried, but just if you wanted to, if you feel more secure doing that. But now, I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? But as it works with the easel and we stand that up, those little pieces are much more pronounced, okay? It gives it that extra oomph, doesn't it? Doesn't it look beautiful? Really stunning. And so that's why the easels are so much fun. They're just a little bit of something different. So now what I'm going to do is start to decorate up. So I'm going to put this in front of the door down hither, giving it that beautiful snow entrance. See how that transforms? Isn't that incredible? It's so clever. They're so, so clever. So I'm going to put this onto here. And push that down. just grabbing and pushing. So I've got it about central. Place it down. Really cute. I love this. It's so awesome. Now, options. Because I've got these here, I can choose to strengthen the support of those by putting them here and putting things so they stand further out. I can put them inside. I can put them on the edge of the fence panel. There's loads of ways of doing things with this collection. So I'm going to put this one just on the edge of that box there. And we're just adding in some little extra visuals. I like it on the outside. So just making sure that's adhered, okay? And it'll all work beautifully once we get into the actual formation of the easel. Now I've got the sign here and I think I'm probably going to stand it about there just to give it some extra little dimension. I'm not going to stick the top of this yet in case I decide to do anything with these rooftops. But the joy is, if you only commit to the stick at the bottom half, I still get to manipulate and move that. It just gives me a little bit of extra umphins. So I've got a snow line here and I get to choose. I think I'm going to use it on the inside of my easel. So I'm keeping them held as the side. I've got my beautiful flower pot and that could be stuck in the window. It can be put onto the door. It could be at the side of the door. I've got the roof. I've got my little holly pieces and we're just coming through. That's what Janine was making that Christmas tree from, so you can see it there. And she's obviously just layered that up because she's a clever sausage. So I'm just showing you all the elements we're using so you can see it all come through. And then I've got extra pieces of snow here. So many ways of playing with this collection. Now on this one, I am going to raise the roof. Not, you know, in a party way. Bit old for that, Miss Taz. So I'm just going to place this on here. So now I've got some added dimension there, and then I'm going to bring in the Santa's Grotto. And I'm just replacing that there. Look at all these wonderful elements. Isn't it gorgeous? How clever and how pretty. I've got the little wreath here. I can either put that on the door, I could have it hanging higher above, I could put it on pin flare and have it higher above, and that would look really, really pretty. But I'm going to stick with it on the door just as a visual. And the joy of that is it kind of fades into itself because of the two greens merging together. It just sort of works in a beautiful way. I've got my Mr. Snowman here, and so where do I put him? Do I tuck him inside of here or do I put him on the outside? Choices are mine to have. I think I'm going to put him on the outside. I'm not shaping him, but I'm going to put him down here. And I am going to give him some added snow lines. So I'm going to put some snow just at the front of him. Just like so. And then I'm going to do the same again at this side to make sure I've got some snow in front of that so it makes a little more sense. And I'm probably going to line that a little bit with snow and just place that along. Now, where's my elements? Let's have a look at what we've got here so I can see all my different pieces coming through. Bit of wet glue. Place that behind, because remember I put that on pin flare so I can tuck now behind. It gives me an extra little added feature. Put that into there. I'm going to hang my little bells. in the center of that door, I've got the 2 little extra leaves. Isn't it gorgeous, this collection? So I'm just going to drape those around to create that arc, that beautiful snow scene. And just put this on top of here. And bring that, look at that. See how it frames it and it all comes round? Isn't that just so delicious? Let's add in a little bit more snow. Just at the front, just to even out that colour, otherwise it looks like the snow's melting. Place this one on top of here. It's so cute. Just placing down. Isn't that just gorgeous? Don't you think as a scene that just looks really stunning, doesn't it? It's so pretty. I know I've got other stuff sitting around, but I just think as a visual scene that is just so stunning and so easy to make. It's not difficult at all to do that. From this, I'm just going to place this and I'm just going to shuffle it a little bit just around. I'm not too worried about shaping it out too much, but a little bit. Now, choices here. Where do I put it? I can, of course, put it in the window. Just down here. So we've got that little window piece frozen. I could put it in front of the door, but I don't really like that because we don't want to block Santa's entrance. And so to me, that visually wouldn't make sense. So I'm not going to put it there, but I am going to put it at the front here, just sitting where it's collected that snow. I can tuck it under the snow if I want. Doesn't really matter either way, but I can't use pin flare because if I use pin flare, it's going to go through the slats in the fence. So we're just steadily putting it on the edges so that they are there to adhere, and using it, tucking it into that snow if I still can. There you go. We'll allow it to just set back. So that sits there like that. Now I've got the elements for the inside and I get to choose and I get to play. When this, look at that gloriousness, it's so pretty. What I'm going to do here is start building up some snow. So I'm going to line it with some snow down the edges, and then we just need a stopper on the inside, which I'll come to in a couple of minutes. So first of all, let's put this just in that center line, just to build up a bit of a snowier scene. God, I love this so much. This whole collection is brilliant. Building up those layers of snow at the bottom, so I've got 3 of them all on top of each other. Just placing through, changing them round so I've got different layers at different angles. Now, I've got choices and I've got options here for a stopper. I can either go in, and I love these, and I think this is where I'll go. But I think, look at the snowballs, aren't they cute? So I think I've got choices. What I can do with these is I can just raise them on foam tape and have them sitting next to each other so that they become one big stopper. I could fold some down at the bottom here and place that and glue it so it becomes almost like another stopper, if you like. So it's like another easel inside, and that would create a different stopper, and my snowballs would sit upright, which I think is super cute because they're piled, which I love. Isn't that sweet? So different ways of playing, and I think I'm probably going to go this way in order to achieve that and actually have it as a working stopper. Though, if I do this, I'm just going to need, so I folded that back, so I've created like a V. But I need it to actually be able to stop it, because actually the weight of that card's just going to push that straight forward, and I don't want that to happen. So I need an actual stopper, and the way I'm going to do that is just to bring out the trusty foam roll. Little bit, don't need much, but I do need it to be higher than flat, if that makes sense. Let's put that in there, and I can sit it on there. So it sits just behind, inside, and that's going to be the stopper for it, so it will prevent anything from going in. So I've got the stopper sitting, and now I get to glue this little piece down on the inside. And I just want to see where I want my grotto to be sat, so I think probably about here. Some little snowballs on the inside there, and that's going to sit and hold it. And then just as a little decorative piece, what you can do is bring these in to create a little pathway to Santa's house, and it gives a little pop of colour on your base plate, so it just allows a little visual extra rather than having it too much white space. So just taking that base plate, creating a path from the snow to Santa's house with that little pop of colour. Placing down. Isn't that so sweet? It's just beyond cute. And then if I turn that round so you can see it from the front as a whole, look at that. Cute as a button, right? Just cute as a button, really sweet. If you don't want the house to be laying down so low, you can play it with the mechanism. So if you, where you score it halfway, you can score it at different points on that mechanism, and it will stand at different heights. So that's up to you to play with. I like mine just as it is. I think it's super sweet. I love playing with dimension. I love playing with the extra bits of fun that we get. You get all of this beautiful shaping coming through. It's just really gorgeous. These are easy cards. These are not difficult to make. This is something everybody can do. You know, it's just about gaining confidence, isn't it? So that you can play in those ways. I'm very quickly going to do a last, this is going to be a speed demo because we're running out of time. But I wanted to show you how this can work on an 8x8 because it does beautifully play on an 8x8. And then you have had all 3 demos, which I like to try and get you 3 demos if I can. Now I've got loads of snowballs in here, so I'm hoping I haven't lost any. So 8x8, 2 pieces of 8x8 cardstock, score at 1/2 inch on one, push that forward, take your red liner tape off like so, face that towards your body, grab your other one, shuffle the 2 together. Place it onto your glass mat where you've got that line so you can see that you're straight. Just like thither. Push. All done. And then we can go through with our mats and layers here. Now I've taken, look at that. That is the Crafter's Companion Centura Snow White, I think it's called. And it is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's almost an iridescent silver or an iridescent white silver. It's the most beautiful color. Now, because I'm working 8x8, I need extra support. So I've put 2 pieces of support in the center this time rather than 1. That's just going to give me that extra bump. I'm working on a 3mm foam tape. I've still done the same. I'm creating those tabs so I can get that slip and slide going through until I'm ready to commit to where I want it to be. I think I'm about right here. Now what I've done here is just taken this piece down by, I think it's a 1/2 inch. So I've just got a very, very small border around that one. That's a little bit on the wonk, you'll have to forgive me. But then I've taken another piece of white and I've made it with a much, you know, big as the gap here. It wouldn't quite have the same impact on it. I don't want to go too much smaller either. I think it's perfect as it is. It just gives me a hint of a tint behind it, which I really love. Again, same thing. I've got 4 supports. I'm creating those tabs. Slip and slide. Nothing's going to be straight now because I totally went on the wonk with the first one, but we'll do the best we can. So about there, push, pull. That's got that into place. Now we play. Now we get a craft on, my favourite bit. So this, and I'm going to sit it right over to one side. What I could do with this is sit it right in the middle. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it in the middle for what I want it to do. I want white space. I want the idea of the sky, the snow falling. And by putting it over here, I give it that beautiful stretch of white space, and I love that so much. So that's what I personally am going to do with mine. Obviously, we all craft differently. Little bits of adhesive, just going through, not too much. Placing this on the bottom so I've got my grounding device, and I'm just going to line that wall up to the edge of my card. Okay, so it just sits off. I'm playing off center. I've got my little chimney, little bit of adhesive at the bottom, just tuck it in, slightly over the edge here. I love that. I think that's so cute. It's beyond sweet, isn't it? Really gorgeous. Now we're going to decorate the house again in similar fashion as we were doing. And I love this for a pop of colour on there. I just think it's so clever how it looks like the red carpet going up to the grotto there. There's something very, very delightful about that. So we're just going to place and pop that on top of there. Just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm going to come in with my log pile, and that's going to sit again on this side, and it's going to just sit over the edge. But what I am going to do this time is raise it on pin flare so I get the difference, because obviously if this was an actual thing, those logs would sit further back, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be flat to the house, it would have some perspective on it. So I'm just going to pop some pin flare, quite a lot. I'll put some on the roof of it as well actually, and that's going to allow it to sit flat. Ground it out. Same again with this, we're pin flaring up. Let it raise. And then the light with the snow on it, I'm keeping this flat because this would be against the wall. I don't want perspective. I certainly don't want shaping out on it. We wouldn't have the window being convex or concave. It would be obscure. So I'm just going to cover that there. See how tiny lights would really come in at this point, it just bringing that all forward. We could do that with pinpricks through the card and you would feed those lights through. You could make something absolutely spectacular. There just wasn't enough time for me to be able to do tiny lights and demo it for you, so I had to make a choice. This is going to go over here, just to this side, breaking up some of that white space, but keeping it clean. And placing down. Okay, so we're breaking up some of that space. We've still got the visual of the white space, but I'm breaking some of it up. Now I've got extra bits and bats over here, and I just want to show you those so that you can see what I'm playing with. Put the little wreath. I think this time I might put the wreath just at the top here. Try and get it central. So we've got the little visual, and then I'm going to take the little bells, a little bit of pin flare on these, and I'm going to sit that just on the top of my wreath. Little bit of colour, little bit of pop of colour, we're giving it that very Christmassy feel. But again, I'm going to line out the doorway with that pop of colour because I really love it. I think there's something really, really gorgeous about putting these just around that door frame. Gives it such a festive look. Tucking it under and around just like so. Same again at this side. just as it is there. And again, I'm going to do the same rounding out with these little leaves at the bottom, because I love the idea of that rotund, that round shaping. It's very, very pretty when we've got a lot of sort of square geometric on the house to have this rounding. So we're just tucking in underneath. Push that so it adheres. Hey up. Ah, heck. Tuck these in just so it sits underneath, curls round, and it's sat behind this, which helps to add even more to the perspective, because we can see it's back further at a distance, so it allows that to sit with more dimension at the front. And then on the other side, I'm going to put this here on some pin flare. Now I've got a couple more pieces that we're going to put down. I've got the little holly here, which I'm going to place just at the front door. Tucking it underneath and just a bit below that wreath. And I've got snow, and I can choose, do I want to have the big piles of snow going over the top? Now obviously I do, otherwise I wouldn't have them here, but it's choice, isn't it, whether you want them or whether you don't. But the idea that everything is getting very snowy and snowed in, and I can use that very, very cleverly by doing it that way. So I'm going to bring that through. Little bit of wet glue here. So this is wet glue. It's actually drying out in the heat of the studio, which seems bizarre when we're doing snow scenes, but that is wet glue, and I'm just going to push it so it adheres. So that is flat to the pieces that it's on in front of it. Now what I can do is do this one on pin flare and raise it, and I would have to put more pin flare on this side and less on that. I could use wet glue on that actually so it sat flat, but I can raise it and gain that perspective. See what we get straight away? Shadows. Shadows are stunning. So I'm going to fill this in along that edge. I'm not going to worry about the wet glue because this will hold, but if I was doing this with more time, I would definitely glue that side down onto that piece as well. Put that through so it sits. So I would theoretically wet glue that as well, but my glue's drying out and we are running out of time. Sorry, Miss Taz. Yes.
And it might be a very, very silly question, but it just
There's no
occurred to
silly
me.
questions.
I mean, this is. And it just occurred to me, since you were talking about heat and then you were talking about snow, what kind of Christmas cards do Australians make? Because they don't have snow at Christmas. So it's not really synonymous for Australians, right?
Maybe like a Christmas tree in the sand. Maybe they...
What kind of Christmas trees do Australians make?
I used to, when I was very little, because my cousins live in New Zealand, I was very much under the impression that if I went to their house in our summer that I would get another Christmas, because I didn't realise that it was the same day, but you know.
Did you think Christmas was...
I just thought Christmas was in winter. I just thought Christmas was winter, and therefore if they were having winter in our summer, they would get another Christmas. I was very, very, very young. No, Pauline, there's not a lot of proper snow in East Yorkshire. Hasn't been for a long time. There was about 10 years ago. I remember it was horrific, but that was only once. Right, popping my snowman just behind, but still raised. Look at him. Look at the little shadows from his little arms. Isn't he lovely? And then finally, we've got our snowballs, and this I am going to shape with the ball tool because I want it to be much more rotund. If you want to sit at home and take the time to do it, get the smaller ball tool end here, so not the tiniest, but the next one, the one on the opposite side to it, and literally sit and shape each snowball out on the round, just very delicately. Working in little spirals. Just delicately, and round and around again. Pauline Ellerington, Beast from the East. It was the Beast from the East. You're not wrong. God, can you remember? It was horrific. It was good fun though. My babies and I, we ended up on the Westwood in Beverley doing lots of sledging. It was very, very much a lot of fun. So I'm just going to put this on the other side of the snowman. And then finally to finish, you all know I love white space. I love white space a lot, but I've got an awful lot going on in this corner and not a huge amount going on in this corner. All I'm going to do is break the tone. That's it. I'm just going to break the tone. And to do that, I'm going to have to get some more wet glue out after all of that. I'm just going. I wonder if I can do it easier with my picky up tool. Little dab and then place. And we've got some hail or some mighty big snowdrops. But I love it as a visual. I love the roundness of them. I love how it plays with the geometry of the house. I love the visual altogether of using these as little snowdrops. That grey colour just breaking up the white. Just enough to give it a visual illusion. Now, I have lost one of my snowballs. I did specifically have 5, and I don't know what I've done with the other, but I will say, if I was using this and sending it, I wouldn't send it without another snowball. Oh, I found it, I found it, I found it. I like to work in odd numbers, not even, which is bizarre because I love symmetry. There you go. I prefer an odd number to an even when we're doing something like that. So you give the little illusion of snow coming down, which makes sense. Your alternatives as well are then to keep building up your snow line. I'm not going to do that, obviously, but you can keep building and building that snow line to allow extra pieces. It is a Carnation picky up tool. Yes, they are on their website. So you get lots and lots of pieces like that. So it's really, really pretty. Now, if I turn that round for you, so see how we get something that is just really sweet. Now I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to bring in the other two that I have made this morning, so you've got a visual of what you've got the tutorials to make and how to make them. So if I sit my little snowball up there, is that going to stand? Is it going to play? There we go. And then finally, you've got the one that is just using that main clubhouse shape. Remember, that's got the decoration inside too. And so with this collection, you've got all the tools that you need to make these really, really sweet cards. You don't have to just stick with the clubhouse card shape, but it is going to see you a long way in your Christmas card making. There's lots and lots of ways of creating different card shapes. Your crystalline nested dies are going to become your best friend when you're making your more when you're making cards that aren't with a card shape, because they've got the most beautiful ice shapings to them. And mainly all I'll say is enjoy the fact that for a collection that you most probably already own in Getting Together, you just suddenly basically got a brand new collection at the cost of $24.99. It's on extended dispatch on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk 230708. Show price today of $24.99, but that will go up to $34.99 at midnight tonight, $2.95 P&P. It has been a wonderful show. They are amazing humans. Thank you, Carnation, for taking our crafting further. Thank you to you guys at home for joining us. It's always, always lovely to have your company. And a huge thank you to Miss Tiz Taz, who's sitting in the corner sweating because it's very warm in here, even though we're doing Christmas. It's lovely to see you all, and I'll see you all on Monday at 10 o'clock.
10.
For Ready for Christmas. So we've got even more Christmas, and it's got that gorgeous scissor lift. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye.